Good morning, friends. Today is March 21st, 3/21, and it is World Down Syndrome Day. I'm wearing my blue and yellow here, all my decked out blue and yellow stuff here, which is Down syndrome colors, in support of World Down Syndrome Day and my daughter Reagan. She is not here with me right now because she's busy at school with all her friends celebrating with all of their blue and yellow. But I wanted to take a moment today to honor her and her extra chromosome, and I thought it would be a fun time to share a little bit about some of how I use oils and oily products to help her, because Reagan is actually what got me started on my journey into essential oils and a natural way of life. So I thought that this was a perfect opportunity to honor her by sharing some of what has helped her. Now, there is a lot, and I'm only just gonna hit a couple of high points, because one thing that I've learned about essential oils is that there's really, if you have a need, you can look into it, find out underlying things, and you can really find an oil or a supplement that will help. So there's no possible way that I can hit it all, considering that Down syndrome is as diverse in the way it affects people as people are, I guess is a way to put it. Let's stop for a second and talk about actually what Down syndrome is. Down syndrome is trisomy 21, which is why March 21st, 3/21 is World Down Syndrome Day. Trisomy 21 means that there is an extra third copy of the 21st chromosome. And I'm going a little science technical here for a second, but it is really useful in understanding how things get affected. So we all have 46 chromosomes, 2 sets of 23 chromosomes, half from mom and half from dad. And a person with Down syndrome has 3 copies of the 21st chromosome. And anytime you have a mess up in a chromosome like that, whether it's an extra chromosome or a partial deletion of a chromosome, it is going to affect your complete body in multiple ways. Anything that is on the 21st chromosome is obviously going to be affected. So heart defects are very common. 50% of the time there are heart defects because that pops up on that 21st chromosome a lot. Hearing can be an issue. Speech issues. If you have a child with Down syndrome, you know some of the different issues that pop up, and they can be quite varied. But what it really comes down to a lot of times is the fact that if you have that extra chromosome, it is creating too much of many of the chemical processes, the biochemical processes in the body. And if you have too much of some things, it's going to make there be not enough of other things. So everything is out of balance. And so really what we want to do is, as much as we can, try and help bring things back into balance for the body to perform at a more optimum level. And that's true for all of us, but it's really, really obvious what the underlying cause is with Down syndrome. So some of the things that drew me to essential oils in the first place when Reagan was a baby and we were dealing with some of the things was a lot of times there is a more weakened immune response or immune system. So obviously the thieves oil to support a properly functioning strong immune system was my #1 go-to. I don't want a sick kid all the time. And because of the smallness of Reagan and the changes in the facial structure with her sinus passages being super tiny, ear canals being super tiny, and having not the same kind of proper drainage that the rest of us have, oils that support good respiratory health, so like RC, or lemon, lavender, and peppermint behind her ears to help keep the fluid drained out, to keep her hearing more supported, because she does have hearing loss, so we don't want that to be any worse by an abundance of fluid. RC for her sinuses or for her chest, because if she gets a cold, it can just junk up in there and just stay because it doesn't drain out and clear out. So keeping things open and helping support those systems has been really, really huge. And it crosses over. It's not just in not being sick or recovering faster, but it's also, you know, if the fluid is drained out, she can hear better. If she can hear better, she can learn better. She can learn to read better. She can speak better. Her speech therapy is more effective. So these things all like interconnect a lot. So they became very important for us. A lot of times Reagan does not struggle with endocrine and thyroid issues, but I want to keep it that way because that is a very common issue with Down syndrome, is thyroid issues. So I like to support her endocrine system with EndoFlex every day to support her endocrine system, her thyroid, her adrenals. It has full of oils that are just supporting for all of those systems, because I know that those can be at risk with that extra chromosome. So I try and stay well. It's always better to stay well than try and fix it later, right? So we stay out in front of that. And in the same way, like the entire Kid Sense line is a mainstay in this house. The Kid Sense oils are great. There's the sleep oils, tummy dries, stuff like that, which is just great for all kids. But also just all of the Kid Sense products, like personal care products, the toothpaste and the bath stuff, because so many things that we get from the store are full of chemicals that are endocrine disruptors. And she has an extra chromosome that's already disrupting her systems, her endocrine system and all her other systems. I don't need to be putting anything else in and on her body on top of that to make that worse or help bring up more problems. So we just keep it clean so that she doesn't have to deal with any of that. So the entire Kid Sense line is super critical. And then another really main thing with Down syndrome is oxidative stress. And that's kind of true for all of us. We hear about antioxidants being so good for us, which is true. Oxidative stress, to put it in a kind of picture, is like our body rusting on the inside, because that's what oxidation is. If metal oxidizes, it rusts. So if you think about like your cells rusting from being exposed to things that are not good for it, we try and repair that with antioxidants by having a diet and a lifestyle that's rich in antioxidants to keep that oxidative stress from getting to be too much to where it affects our health. That is doubly, triply, trust me, true with Down syndrome, because that extra chromosome brings on oxidative stress all by itself. So anything that we can do to support keeping that oxidative stress out is good. So one of the main things that's good for oxidative stress is citrus oils, which are high in limonene, are really good antioxidants, and they're just really easy just to use in general. So I just have a little citrus fresh here, but all citrus oils are good in limonene, which is good for immune support, antioxidant support. There are a lot of other things that are really good for antioxidant support. I mean, I could do like hours just on the subject of oxidative stress and Down syndrome. I won't go into all that. It's a little bit more sciencey, but there are so many resources that we can use for all of the little things that crop up when you have a bonus chromosome. Now I love that extra chromosome. It is just a delight, but I don't like when it makes my little one not feel good or struggle in some way. So I am so happy that I have all of these resources that I can use to help her be the very best that she can be, because she is totally rocking it. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful World Down Syndrome Day, and find somebody with a bonus chromosome to give a hug to today, because they are an absolute treasure and gift to the world. Join us next time when we spill some more wellness, purpose, and abundance.